Hi everyone, and welcome back to Reading the Signs, Tarot and Astrology on YouTube. This is the full moon, blue moon in Taurus on Halloween night, All Hallows Eve. As if 2020 wasn't spooky enough, it's thrown in a blue moon on Halloween night, something exceptionally rare. So what does it mean? It means that this full moon has very special energies. The veil on Halloween night, as we know, is the thinnest between this realm and the other realm, which means that spooky coincidences, serendipities, and all kinds of feelings are very common around this night. So this full moon in Taurus is conjunct Uranus, which is the planet, of course, of surprises, which means that this full moon really is a trick-or-treat kind of moon, because whatever happens will surprise you. It's going to be very different for any of the signs, but let's first get into the astrology of the full moon. The full moon in Taurus is, of course, occurring in Scorpio season. Hello, Scorpio family. And, of course, that is a time that is very mysterious. It's a real rebirth for the soul. It's that real transitional phase. Where I am from, in the northern hemisphere, of course, the clocks will be going back, which means that everything will be darker for a longer period of time, which means that we will all be within this Scorpio darkness, whether it is literally in terms of the weather or metaphorically in terms of the soul. It is that rebirth moment, that phoenix moment. So to have the full moon in Taurus, this is a real peak energy of our values. Since Uranus shifted into Taurus, it's really revolutionized the way that we see money, currency, what we value, who we value, what material aspects of life we put the most value on. And this year enough has really shifted that with the economy. This full moon is going to be a very personal shift in terms of how we value things going forward, and it is going to change. The conjunction between the moon and Uranus can be this real emotional reset where you free yourself from the restrictions that you feel within your heart space, where you free yourself from long-standing patterns. You know, Taurus energy and Scorpio energy are fixed signs. And fixed signs can really hold on to the past for way too long. They can hold on to patterns for way too long. They can hold on to relationships, clothes, cars, homes, you know, just for the sake of that familiarity. And this revolutionary full moon is really going to ask you, where could you let something old go and be free? You know, for a lot of people, it can be selling something off. For other people, it can be getting rid of mental clutter. You know, the ruler of this full moon is actually Venus, and Venus is trine Saturn, so that is karmic. It is karmic between areas of love, of money, of worth, of self-worth. So these areas are all being highlighted, but what's beautiful, I think, about the Venus trine Saturn aspect is that when you get the lesson, when you get that into your mind, what you need to let go of, and you choose to do it, and you choose to accept it, and you move forward, that Saturn promises something more stable, something with longevity. So for all the signs, it's a time emotionally to really switch up the way you see things, to really switch up the way that you're living your life and where you're holding on to something that really, really needs to change. So I do have cards for all of the signs. I have the astrology for all of the signs. I'm going to put the timestamps below. Please like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed it. Happy Halloween. Happy Scorpio season. Mercury's still in retrograde. Be careful out there. Love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to the full moon segment for your sign. This is your annual full moon. Can you believe that it is on Halloween night and it's a blue moon? Now, it's not an astrological blue moon, so the meaning is slightly different. It's more to do with the calendar. But Taurus, this is all eyes on you. So this is your moment to shine, but this is also your moment to get to grips with some emotions that are playing on your mind and have been for a while. For you, with your cards and with the astrology, I feel like this is a really interesting reset for something so much better. I think with this full moon, what you are doing is really, thankfully, letting go of some very toxic energy and toxic emotions. So something very unhealthy, be it a mental pattern, be it a relationship, or somebody that you know that you don't want in your life anymore, there seems to be a real cathartic cleanse of that toxic energy. The reason that I say that is because we see very clearly with your cards, with the Temptation card, this is the devil in traditional astrology, this is Saturn, and the World card, which is also Saturn, the Venus, your ruler, trine Saturn aspect, is releasing you from some love karma. So I don't know. I think for a lot of you guys, you have dated devil-like characters. I know that some of you are probably laughing at that and thinking, yeah, but you know what I mean. Devil-like characters, very charming, very good-looking maybe, or charismatic, but people that could be quite addictive, people that could be very unhealthy, people that could be emotionally abusive or toxic or manipulative, that kind of thing. I feel like a lot of you are coming out of that cycle. Another reason for that is because the sun is now in your partnership, is now in your partnership sector, and that is putting a lot of onus on your relationships. The sun is shining that light into your relationship life. And I do think that this full moon, because Scorpio is your opposite sign, and this is your full moon, this is a bit of a reset in terms of how you view your relationships. I think some of you have really been through it. And this is not just romantic relationships. For many of you, this is business. These are business relationships, partners, co-workers maybe. I mean, that's possible. But there is some kind of exit, I think, or a reset karmically in terms of people in your life. I also see that because of the endings and beginnings card. This full moon is an ending and a beginning of a cycle for you. And if you can see the full moon in the background and the lotus here, the lotus is a lot to do with the heart chakra. Another reason that I think this is so is because with the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, I think a lot of you have been holding on to a belief about love, a belief about expression, a belief about romance, and a belief about play, believe it or not. We also have the play card, the have fun, don't be so serious. So this full moon is really a time for you, Taurus, to get into that beautiful, playful energy. Now, Saturn is actually trining your ruler. Saturn is in your, Venus is in your 5th house of love and romance. So that is a really big omen for me when I see the Page of Cups. I think for a lot of you, this is a reset in love, and if you're single, you'll be calling somebody in. But also in your current relationships, it's saying that if you want them to be healthy and expressive, you might need to let go of a grudge or ease up on being stubborn about a particular issue if it's someone that you're in a relationship with. I also see with this, don't take things so seriously, despite the aspect to Saturn being quite serious. It is an aspect to Venus in the 5th, which means that fun is actually going to be a beautiful way for you to understand and see yourself through some harder lessons that you've really been through for the last few years. I also think for many of you, this is, with Venus in the 5th, I think some of you could be expecting or find out that you're pregnant or expecting children, or there's growing bonds with your current children. There's some lovely childlike energy here. But this can be new love, this can be new creative ideas if you're in the creative professions. This is really being able to express yourself creatively, having some really wonderful insights of genius. Don't forget, Uranus is in your sign. That is revolutionizing the way that you live and the way that you view yourself. I think with the thinking woman, you have probably been... You've probably been going through a period where you've been overthinking. I think, think. I think with the sun being in Libra. Libra is the 6th house. It's very organized. And, you know, obviously we had a lot of that clashing energy with the 12th house with Mars being there. Before the next moon, the new moon in Scorpio, which is your partnership sign, which is also looking really nice, by the way, but we'll get into that in that video. Before then, there will be a lot of... I've lost my train of thought. There will be a lot of onus on your... Yes. that you will be moving forward with Mars going direct in your 12th house. You will have been doing a lot of psychological analysis of yourself. You'll have been doing a lot of psychological processing. I think that a lot of you have really been working through some psychological issues, and I think that this is all coming into balance. You're really ready to let go of anything that is unhealthy emotionally and move forward. This is also Saturn, by the way, so I feel like Saturn is granting you a gift, okay, around this full moon. And I think for many of you, it could be financial, it could be emotional, but with the Four of Pentacles, it is telling you that you need to let go of the past or let go of the fear of lack, okay? Especially if that comes to money. So that's all I have for you, Taurus. I love you guys very much. Have a wonderful full moon, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to the full moon part of your reading. Does that even make sense? Mercury, your ruler, is still in retrograde, and it's in retrograde in Libra, 5th house. Venus is in the 4th house. The Sun is in the 6th. This full moon is in the 12th. And Saturn is in the 8th. Meaning that there is a lot of deep internal energies around this full moon that you're maybe finding you're struggling with a little bit. Particularly in matters of the heart, where you've been really badly hurt. A full moon in the 12th house is a time of release. It's a time of seeing these deep subconscious emotions bubble up to the surface, even if you didn't see them coming. And I think for a lot of you, this full moon is a time for you to finally pull the swords out of the Three of Swords and find your wings again. Revolutionize the way that you see your soul. Revolutionize the way that you see your spirit and how you connect. You, more than any other sign at this full moon, are very psychic and very aware and very in tune. And I think for a lot of you, there is a connection with somebody, for many of you, on the other side. Now, the reason that I say this, because I feel like this could be grief. The reason I say this is because of Rhiannon and the man holding a heart. Now, it doesn't have to be a male. There is strong male energy, but I also feel with Rhiannon, it could be that you are connecting to a female, someone on the other side that is really hoping to manifest something with you, to help you with a manifestation, especially for those of you that are struggling in terms of business and work. I think for many of you, with the Three of Swords and the King of Earth, you could have been very hurt by a business opportunity gone wrong, or the lack of a business, or the loss of a business, or this could be an earth sign person, a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn. And I think that a lot of you are really struggling to let this go, or struggling to cope with it. What's handy though, what a way to put it, the Three of Fire is the Three of Wands in the traditional deck, and it's looking forward to the future and seeing the ships finally start to come in. So this reset for you is somewhat psychological, and it's trying to, with the All Tied Up card, free you from things that are really holding you back, or have been holding you back for a while. And I think for a lot of you, it's a part of your heart that was cracked, and I think that you've really struggled with. For many of you, I think it's grief. I think it is mourning or missing somebody and having a bit of a purge of emotions with that particular feeling. It could be a relationship that didn't go out the way that you wanted it to, but I do feel that for a lot of you, this full moon is incredibly healing, particularly with your ruler in retrograde in your 5th house. Now, that could be as well for some of you that a person who really hurt you in the past comes back with an offer of peace, or an offer of love, or an offer of friendship, or something like that around this full moon. I feel for you is very likely as well. But I do feel in terms of business, if you're really struggling, I think there are opportunities coming in November that are really important. Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. So this is similar to the Rhiannon card, and I think for a lot of you, you're really tapping into your psychic powers and your powers of manifestation, because this card actually says you're a magical person who can manifest your dreams into reality. So there is a very mystical element of your cards, Gemini. So if you are struggling with business, this full moon would like you, to let go of the fear from the past and the disappointment from the past and start manifesting something new, because there's a lot of supportive magical energies. And as I said in the introduction, the veil is thinner, and it appears to me that there's people on the other side who really would like to communicate with you. And it also appears to me that if some of you are mourning the loss of a relationship, there is an earth sign on the periphery, or an earth sign returning, or something like that, with an offer of love. Now this can actually be, because this might be what you need at the time, this can actually be somebody who offers you help financially, in terms of business, in terms of your career, somebody who offers you something that you really need. But what I see from this is that your revolutionary moment, Gemini, is by releasing some trapped feelings of pain and disappointment and grief. And I think what you need to do around this full moon is be very gentle with yourself. If you don't feel as social, or if you don't feel as communicative, to just have a moment with your feelings and not run from them so much. Because I think for a lot of you, you're embarking on a new journey in terms of what you value, as I said, but what you value on a spiritual level. Some of you could actually be embarking into a very spiritual or holistic profession, and it seems to be very supported if that's what you're doing. So that is what I have for you, Gemini, around this full moon. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi Cancer, welcome to your full moon in Taurus reading. So Cancer, this full moon is falling in your 11th house. Ooh. And the 11th house is all about wishes coming true. It's about friendships. It is about social relationships. And of course, disclaimer, the full moon in that sector can sometimes be separating yourself from a particular friendship or a particular group of people. That can sometimes be that change. What I actually see for you is something very exciting. You have the moon, of course you do. You are ruled by the moon. Full moon in Taurus. We have the moon card, we have the magician card, and we have the page of pentacles. So these are a really magical bunch, especially in terms of money, children, and career. So what I'm seeing for you, Cancer, is that regardless of what you want to manifest, you have a really strong chance of doing it on Halloween night. So with the magician and the moon, this is being able to tap into that divine feminine power of a Cancerian during a full moon and start putting out magical intentions that come back to you. Start manifesting what it is that you really, really, really want. For a lot of you, it is a life path. I see with the temple path here, for a lot of you, you're trying to manifest a calling. You're trying to manifest your dream career or your dream relationship or whatever it is. You're trying to manifest something that is part of your purpose and adventure here on Earth. The World card. And I think for many of you with the magician, I get this real strong sense of alchemy, of magic, of having everything that you need. And what I'm seeing with the moon energy is that you already are enough. You already are everything that you need for whatever it is that you want. You already have everything within you to manifest whatever this is, because this is a wish. This is something that you really want. You just know that you want something, and I think you're very clear on it. I also see with the medicine woman card, a lot of you are in the healing profession or are healers, or you are healing other people. I think some of you are maybe working with children with the page of earth, helping children. Yeah. Or you're maybe healing children that you have. You're maybe discovering that they need a certain kind of care or a certain kind of diet in order to heal anything that is troubling them. I think you have very strong maternal instincts, Cancer, and I think as well around the full moon you're extending those to a lot of people. We also have the go outside card, which makes me think that a lot of you are connecting to nature. I think a lot of you will probably be standing underneath the full moon that night and talking to it, making wishes in the full moon, using it to manifest your power, because even here he's quite clearly not on the earth because he's looking at it. Maybe he's on the moon, but there's this kind of parallel universe theme, I think, here with her looking at the moon and him looking at the earth, which makes me think what you seek is seeking you. Do you know what I mean? This just gives me these real what you seek is seeking you vibes. So whatever it is that you want to manifest, seems to be that if you do a ritual or you set the intentions on this full moon, Cancer, it looks really promising for you. Another reason for that is because Venus is in Virgo, your third house of communication, and it is trining Saturn in your relationship sector. So if you're trying to get some clarity on a relationship, especially if it's with a Gemini or it's with a Pisces, if you're trying to get some clarity, I think you just need to tap into the magic of the full moon, because you will really be very intuitive around this time. I'm actually just going to draw a clarifier for what it is that you're actually manifesting, because I'm nosy. Oh. The Sun, the Seven of Cups, and the Page of Cups. Okay, so maybe you are manifesting love, and if you are, I think a lot of you are trying to manifest the one, you know, the person that you have kids with or get married. And I think with the Seven of Cups, you're in a lot of different minds about it. You're not sure that it's possible, you're not sure that it is real, or you're not sure that it can exist. The Sun and the Page of Cups is saying yes, it is. So you have some really lovely surprises coming up around this full moon, Cancer. I actually really like it. And for those of you with that 11th house energy and the Sun being in the 5th house energy, if you're seeking connections of any kind, if that's what you're looking to manifest, I think it is saying just keep doing what you're doing, because the Page of Earth is someone who's got a lot of patience, a lot of faith in their abilities. And I think with the Page of Cups, especially because it's funny, we have the Sun and the Moon now, which is really very special. And it's saying that the Sun being in Scorpio in the 5th house is significant, particularly in terms of your children, in romance, in love. November has a lot of blessings in that department for you, just so you're aware. And Mercury retrograde has probably been dragging you through some past feelings of hurt or disappointment or illusion, or where you've been deceived or duped, and it's making you doubt your abilities. This is saying don't do it. You can manifest exactly what it is that you want. All the cards are on the table. This actually looks really promising, and being in nature will help you do that, is another thing that's highlighted here. Being in nature, being outside, being under the full moon will really help you manifest what it is that you've got your heart set on, because you clearly do have something in mind and you can do it. So that is your full moon segment, Cancer. I will see you soon. Happy Halloween. Bye. Hi Leo, welcome to your full moon in Taurus reading. So this full moon is occurring in your 10th house, and your cards pretty much talk about that, so this is an interesting one. So the full moon is conjunct Uranus. Now we've talked a lot about your career in the monthly readings, and this is no exception, because this full moon is a culmination of energies that have been brewing for a little bit. Over the last couple of years, you've wanted to change paths in career or gain more power in career, or you've set new long-term goals. You have reluctantly let go of certain ideas about the future, etc., etc. What I'm seeing for you with the Seven of Cups, with the Sun, your card, and the Seven of Air, I see this as a lot of you having imposter syndrome. I see this as a lot of you feeling like you're not good enough in your current profession, or that you're not being recognized, or that it's not fulfilling you anymore, or that you would love to ask for a raise, but you know it in your heart that, well, you think you know that you won't have it accepted, or it won't be acknowledged, or you think you shouldn't go for a higher paying job or something. There's a vibe of that here because of the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Air. Now the Seven of Air is known as the deceit card, kind of. But when I saw it come up for you, I just instantly knew it's that you feel a little bit like you're not there entirely on merit, or you don't feel like you could do the thing that you really want. You're having doubts about your career, basically. Any insecurities that you have about your future, about your career, may come to the head around this full moon. You might have a lot of doubts, you might have a lot of confusion, but with the Sun card and the Seven of Cups, Leo, this full moon is well and truly shining a light, a glaring one at that, on your options. It's letting you know what are castles in the sky and what are genuine options for you. And there's a lot more options than you think. You know, there's rarely a Leo alive. I don't think there's a Leo alive that isn't multi-talented. Leos are typically good at many, many, many things rather than just the one. And so they can afford career path changes in their life and do it really well and do it with style. The difficulty is because it's a double fixed aspect, there's the sun and the moon, both in fellow fixed sign Scorpio, which is your 4th house, that can make you feel kind of closed off and insecure at times when the sun is in your 4th house. And then the full moon in Taurus obviously being in your 10th. So your past and your future come into really strong glare. So you can see then why you're maybe feeling a little bit insecure or confused about the future. And a lot of it could be rooted in the past. I say that because we also have the Ishtar card, boundaries, and Isis, past life. And it's funny because when the boundaries card came out and it made me think of ancient Egypt, I remember thinking, I wonder if these Leos watching this have a past life in ancient Egypt. And then the past life card came out and I thought, I get it. And in Egypt, obviously, there's a lot of mystery surrounding how they built the pyramids. There is kind of a confusion or a lack of certainty into how they did it. But they still did it, right? The mystery is there, but they still did it. And obviously, no comment on the history of it particularly, but what I'm seeing for you, especially with loving yourself enough to say no to others, I think a lot of you have maybe been working too hard because you feel like you owe it to somebody or you feel like you can't succeed without it. Now, one of the things I would like you all to be aware of, because you are, regardless of your gender, because this isn't a slap on men by any chance, it's a patriarchal thing that the patriarchy wants you to be so exhausted in your job, to think you have to work really long hours, to think you have to work for a very long time to get success. More so, not so that you get the success, but so you're so exhausted that you don't have time to think or question things. And that's not against, again, when I say patriarchy, it does not suit men or women. Nobody, regardless of gender, should have to die by working so hard, to have emotional breakdowns, exhaustion, etc., etc., etc. If you can take a break around this full moon, because that's also one of your cards, the take a break card, and then we have the mother card, because of the 4th house, 10th house aspect, which is the mother and father, this is kind of cool, and find a way to give yourself unconditional love and affection, or even talk to your mother, or if you had a strained relationship with your mother, rewrite what she would have said and say what you would have liked her to say. I feel with the door to value and the contract card, a lot of you in the next 6 months are going to be signing a contract that is new, that has more money, that has more value, something that really lets you show your talents, really lets you show your work ethic, and I think it's going to be so much better for you, whether it's a part of where you are now or whether it's a part of where you're going. I feel that with the contract card, Venus is in your 2nd house of money, and it's trining Saturn in your 6th house of work. You are being released from some kind of karmic feel in terms of work and in terms of money. So know that you're on the up, okay? Know that that is on the up. This might be a culmination of a lot of energies you felt for a while, but it'll bring genius, insight, clarity, all the things that you need to progress and have the future as bright as the sun. So I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Leo. Hi, Virgo, and welcome to your full moon in Taurus segment. So Virgo, your cards, wow. So the full moon is in Taurus, and it is also Scorpio season. Scorpio season for you is the 3rd house of the voice, of communication, of siblings, of neighbors. And the full moon in Taurus is the 9th house of higher self, expansion, philosophy, and travel. So obviously a lot of Virgos probably aren't traveling very much at the moment because of the, And I kind of get that from your cards, that you're going on a mental journey anyway. So I love these cards. The reason I say that is because I can see Saturn, I can see Libra, and I can see Capricorn, I can see Libra, and I can see Aquarius energy in your reading. And that makes me happy because I can see Saturn, so clearly is in touch with this full moon by its aspect to Venus, and Venus is in your sign. So Venus, Libra, justice, you know what I mean? So I'm seeing justice and Saturn side by side. I'm seeing Libra and Capricorn side by side. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Mercury, your ruler, is also in Libra at this time. So what I'm getting from this is that there is a karmic reset. And now one of the things I want to say to you, and I don't want to sound so like a Scorpio, because I am, but somebody is getting what's coming to them in your life. It's like somebody that has wronged you in some way with Justice and the Devil card, somebody who's been manipulative or somebody that has been toxic. Another way to look at this, Virgo, is that somebody, I also see the Six of Pentacles, which means a balancing out of give and take. Another way to see this is that you are finally releasing with this full moon a very unhealthy and unhelpful, addictive thinking pattern about the world, about the universe, about life. It's almost like with Justice and the Temptation card, you're finally getting past this anxiety. And the way that you're getting past it with the Healer of Ages card is through more spiritual, more philosophical, more open-minded approaches to the world. I also see with the Great Gathering, it's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. You're getting in touch with a vibration around this full moon that is just so good. That is just so, I mean, Venus in your sign is beautiful enough to have it contacting Saturn in this earth energy is so beautiful for you, because it's going to make you feel more intuitive, more in connection with the world around you, and more in connection with spirit, and more in connection as well with the people that you associate with the ninth house, people that you share common interests with, you know, like languages or media or writing. All of these things are kind of coming up for you at this time. And I actually feel like for a lot of you, one of the things that I'm kind of getting for you is a really good streak of luck. So with Venus and Virgo, Saturn and Capricorn, the full moon in Taurus, there's all this beautiful earth sign energy around this full moon, and it's bringing you blessings with the Star card here. Okay, so there's a really strong sense of a wish may be coming true for you around this full moon. And the reason that it's starting to manifest for you, because I feel with the Justice card and the Temptation card, the reason that this dream is going to start to manifest is because you're actually getting out of your own head. I feel like there's been a lot of mental blocks. Now with the Quiet Time card, this is very much for a lot of you, a full moon where you may finally take up meditation and not just view it as some annoying chore. I feel like a lot of you, especially with the Iseult card, are finally tapping into your more optimistic, expanded self. And the reason that you're doing it is because you have this kind of thought download from the universe that something can actually happen. You know, something can actually work for you. Something can actually come to you that you've wanted for quite a while. And the reason that you're getting there is because you're revolutionizing the way that you think. Uranus in Taurus was always going to do that for you. It was always going to make you question your beliefs. And with this full moon in aspect to it, it's giving you a big burst of energy in terms of your thought processes. And that is really beautiful. With the Six of Pentacles, I feel like it could be to do with work or career, but a lot of you have been hoping for more equal treatment or more equal relationships, and there is something that is working out karmically because of Saturn being in the picture. So that being said, Saturn is going to exit Capricorn later in the year, and you're going to just feel like there's less of, you know, because Saturn in the 6th, I think, suits you a lot better because you have that kind of work ethic as it is. You are a perfectionist and you do work very hard. So Saturn's going to reward you there, and it's going to be thinking, well, Virgo's been working hard for a really long time, so let's work together. Whether Saturn in the 5th house for you has really felt like, I don't know if I want to have fun, or I'm so scared of getting addicted to something, or I'm so scared of something trapping me emotionally, or like having too much fun or over excess. And this is a full moon to really have fun. I can also see with the Star card, she's kind of in this beautiful almost like a mermaid outfit, so really having fun and play and getting into costume, getting into character, and really making a wish on this full moon as well. Really wishing for something, because with that 3rd house, 9th house axis, what you speak into existence will happen really very quickly. It's like spells. Even though your ruler Mercury is retrograding in your 2nd house of value, which is making you feel a little bit anxious and a little bit insecure at times, it's actually saying to you that it really wants you to get to grips with how you communicate and how you cast spells. You know, your words are spells. So are you constantly cursing yourself by saying you're not enough, or it'll never happen, or I don't know why it's not happening? Or are you constantly blessing with yourself that what I'm seeking is seeking me, what I want will find me, I deserve this, I deserve this, I deserve this? Because with the Undying Love card, I think for a lot of you as well, you've had very toxic relationships. There's potential for that, especially with Neptune being in the 7th. Quite foggy relationships, possibly relationships with addictive people, that kind of thing. And I think with the Star, there's a real element of healing for you. A real element of healing the imbalances in your life and the karma in your life, and really freeing you up to think bigger. So I hope you have a wonderful full moon, Virgo, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Libra, welcome to your full moon in Taurus segment. This full moon is falling in your 8th house of intimacy, of occult, of the taboo. All while the sun is in your 2nd house of worth. Your ruler Venus and the ruler of this full moon is in the 12th. It's in Virgo. And it's connecting to Saturn in a really harmonious way that is in your 4th house of the past. And I think for a lot of you, I saw with the Broken Heart card and the 4 of Air, a lot of you have been through a lot in your life in terms of your heart space, in terms of your love life, in terms of your connections, or a lot of you have been really badly hurt by somebody in the past that's still lingering within. You know, hurt in the human heart can actually, if not dealt with properly, last for a very long time, even if people think they're past it. And for a lot of you, it could be childhood. For a lot of you, it could be romance. For a lot of you, it just could be the breakdown of a relationship that you found very hard. Possibly at the beginning of the year, around the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, a lot of people went through it, or Venus retrograde this year. And this is saying for you that you're going through, or you've been through, a process of healing. And with the Patience card, it's asking you to really be very patient with yourself and be a lot kinder to yourself, because there is divine timing at play here. Everything has a purpose. Everything was meant to happen. And with the aspects between your ruler Venus and Saturn, I feel that you're really coming out of the woods in terms of a karmic lesson about love and about relationships. And with the Fairness card, which is your energy, as we can see, the Scales and the Dove, for a lot of you, this full moon could be a time of forgiveness, and it could be a time of apology, or it could be a time of, I think, forgiveness for you, especially with the Bridget Don't Back Down card. I feel like a lot of you are finally forgiving, but coming from a place of strength. Now, what's beautiful about this energy is that there is that revolutionary aspect with the moon and Uranus, meaning that you are changing the way that you perceive your intimate life, you're changing the way that you deal with your partner, or you deal with your money or your investments, or even the way you feel about death. For a lot of you, this could be grief coming to the fore. But what I am seeing about this energy, and this makes sense going into next month's astrology, all the November reading will be listed in the November playlist, which is going to be below, and they'll all be out before the 1st of November. What I'm seeing for you is a lot of happiness. 10 of Cups, look how happy he is. A lot of emotional contentment, the cups spilling over, being really overjoyed with what's going on in your life. And also with the 6 of Wands, success. Success in terms of feeling like you're recognized, feeling like you're seen, feeling like you're understood. Mercury retrograde in your sign, you know it. And with the Fairness card, feeling like you're being treated fairly. So what I see coming in for you, what the change is, what the revolution is for you, Libra, is that this is a trick or treat in terms of dealing with the past pain. That's the trick. That's taught you to set boundaries. That's taught you to be self-aware and to pick partners with a more careful approach. But also it's a treat because the 10 of Cups is the ultimate treat. It's so happy. This is connection, this is intimacy, this is success, this is a power couple or a power business or something that is going really very well. And I can tell you've put a lot of thought into these particular areas, especially if you're in the legal profession, as many Libras that I know are. With the Fairness card and the Thinking Woman, this can be studying law, this can be having really interesting perspectives, having really interesting discussions. I know that Mercury is retrograde in your sign, so it can feel like a lot of the fair outcomes will be a bit delayed. I don't think it's necessarily going to be clear on Halloween night that everything's going in your favor. But this is just telling you that the energies are shifting, okay? And it's asking you to be really patient with that. If you're waiting on a legal, or political outcome, I feel like this is going to be quite good for you. Yeah, with the fairness card, the patience card, but the success and the happy contentment card, I feel, Libra, your energies for the first 2 weeks in November are really quite special. I feel like there really is kind of a contentment going on for you. And I think it's come from a place of real suffering where you've been really trying to get something off the ground, or you've been trying to heal something, or you've been trying to bring attention to something, maybe on behalf of somebody else, maybe you've been fighting for somebody, whatever it is. But I feel like there will need to be patience exercised in terms of all these outcomes. They won't be immediately clear. You know, Uranus energy is very surprising, and it can be very spur of the moment like that in your intimate life and your contracts and things like that. It can be, but it can also manifest over the next 2 weeks from there. And then the next new moon in Scorpio is so good. So yeah, what I'm seeing for you is a lot of success, emotional contentment, fulfillment. And I think you really deserve it, because that broken heart in the Four of Swords just makes me feel like some of you have been, not to drop you in it, but some of you have maybe been crying yourself to sleep, or crying in your sleep, or really worried about something, or really brokenhearted, or really grieving. And I just feel like there is something bringing your heart this overwhelming feeling of happiness and contentment and this I did it kind of energy. You know, the 8th house lies within it so much transformation and so much potential to turn the darkness into power. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Libra. I hope you have a beautiful Halloween, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Scorpio. I'm so wary of having lipstick on my teeth. Welcome to the full moon in Taurus segment for your sign. Happy birthday if you are an October born Scorpio, or the first 2 weeks of November. Feel free to leave your birthday below and wish each other a happy birthday and a happy Scorpio season. So Scorpio, this full moon is occurring in your 7th house of partnerships, of contracts, of business or romantic contracts. It's basically another person. So this full moon is aspecting you a lot in terms of your one-on-one dynamics. The cards kind of got that, so that's kind of interesting. One of the things that I want to say for you is that around the time of this full moon, Mercury will have retrograded back into Libra. And Libra is your 12th house. Now, Scorpio, I don't know about you, I am a Scorpio. I have actually found this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio season really very cathartic, but really very hard. I actually am welling up a little tiny bit thinking about it, because I have cried so much during this season because a lot of past stuff has come up. That's kind of Libra season for Scorpios in general. It's confusing. One of the things that I'm getting for you is that a lot of you have been feeling that way too, because we had the 7 of Cups and we had the anxiety card. And we also had the Get Grounded card. So I'm feeling that a lot of Scorpios have really been confused about their emotions. They've been anxious. They've been having trouble sleeping. They've been having trouble feeling present. They've been having trouble staying in the moment. They've been having trouble relating to people emotionally. Not because you don't feel it, but because you feel so much. The 7 of Cups to me, for an emotional aspect, is kind of like when you feel, you know, when you see a sponge that is just so wet that it's heavy and you can't, like, you know that it needs a good wring out. I feel like the Mercury aspects for Scorpio and Libra have really done that for you. So I feel like this is kind of, you're leading up to a wringing of the sponge kind of aspect. And I do think that there's actually really good energy shifts here. So one of the reasons I want to say that to you is because we have the Guardian card, the Door to Spirit card, and the Angel of Strength, which means, Scorpio, that at the moment, your spirit guides and your ancestors, you're probably going to feel, especially because Venus is in Virgo, which is the 11th house, which I associate with the higher, law of attraction, that kind of energy. And I sort of feel a little bit like no, Venus is in Libra. So I'm sort of feeling a little bit like there's a lot of clairvoyancy and a lot of connection and a lot of, you know, really psychic awareness energy coming through here. So you're really having a divine connection to your ancestors, to your to people on the other side, to spiritual guides, that kind of thing. I feel like a lot of you need to know in that moment that when you're very anxious and upset, if you're crying, there are people that are looking out for you on the other side, like guardian angels, the angel of strength. And I feel like you're really getting a lot of signs and downloads from the universe. Very clairvoyant. So that being said, the other energies coming up for you. Sorry, Mercury retrograde is actually making me such a poor communicator. The other energies that are coming up for you, we had the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Wands. So this is actually very similar already to your November reading in terms of the cards. The Knight of Cups and the Four of Wands came up in that too, albeit from a different deck. So when you watch that, you'll understand what I mean. The Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Wands, you're getting ready to express yourself emotionally. And the reason that you've done that is because, or the reason that you're doing it going forward is because you've done a lot of dredging up lately that you just simply can't do on your own. You've had to talk to friends, you've had to talk to your parents, you've had to talk to your partner or somebody about how you've been feeling. You've had to learn to share your emotions. And for some of you, it's been learning to have that voice to spirit and to your higher self through prayer and through meditation. But I think for a lot of you, this is a reset. You know, the Venus trine Saturn aspect is of course to do with resetting a lot of romantic karma, in my opinion. It's when you've had a lot of tough lessons and then there's this reset and you start to understand things. And I do feel with the anxiety card and the Door to Spirit and the Seven of Cups, a lot of you have to let go the past of your partnerships. Like the ghosts of partnership past is what I'm saying. So with this full moon, it's very possible you could hear from an ex, or you could hear from somebody from the past, or you could really deal with emotions that you've not processed from the past. You know, real hurt. And it's manifesting as anxiety. With the bold card, it's sort of saying that you will only get back to your bold Scorpio season self if you're able to let go of the people that are making you feel anxious or have made you feel ungrounded or afraid or upset or unworthy, is what I'm saying here. There's a catharticness around this full moon of letting go of past partnership, drawing a line, letting it go. Just letting it go completely so that you can be more free in your relationships going forward. It could also be that you change the way that you relate to your relationships. You realize that you have to be a bit more communicative. The Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups are both very romantic voices. They're where you express your heart. They're where you express your feelings. And a lot of Scorpios don't do that. And it's telling you that you need to. The Leap card, a lot of you need to express yourself. Not just in love, but also in terms of your creativity, writing, performing. Putting yourself out there emotionally is not just about romance. It's putting yourself out there to make friends, or putting yourself out there to reconnect with friends, or saying, I want to reconnect with this person, this old friend, or I want to reconnect with, you know, my partner, or whatever that is for you. With the Four of Wands, I feel that this is really blessed. I feel like your relationship life in general with the full moon in your relationship sector, especially Scorpio risings, is taking a reset. It is becoming more open. It's becoming more communicative. It's becoming more dreamy with the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups. And it's becoming something that's a bit more stable. I think a lot of Scorpios, and I understand this with the astrology of November too, a lot of Scorpios are going to find themselves in much happier relationships all around. You know, your family, your friends, your lovers, your partners, whatever it is. You're going to find yourself in relationships that are much healthier all round going into the latter half of the year. You know, the last 3 months, there's going to be a lot more focus with Venus moving into your sign, and then the Mars direct motion on the 13th. And then, of course, we have the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on the 13th as well in Capricorn. And it's really resetting your life to be a lot more solid and emotionally fruitful. So that is something really beautiful for you. And with the Temple Path and the Get Grounded card, spend time in nature, spend time connecting to the divine, stop fearing your intuition, because it actually is a wonderful tool for you when you don't confuse it with fear. So before the full moon, I feel like a lot of you are in a very fearful space or a very anxious space, and I think you really need to stop that. You know, find a way to deal with it, find a way to talk about it, Make sure that you're talking to people who really support you. Because with the Page of Cups as well and the Knight of Cups, I just feel like there's a really loving, communicative flow of energy coming towards you. And I think the full moon is that setting point where everything starts to shift. Now, the new moon in your sign on the 15th is going to be the best new moon of the year. You're going to love it. Your cards, if you think they look good now, wait until that video because it's going to be so beautiful. And I hope you have a really happy full moon and Halloween, Scorpio. It is your season. I love you guys very much. Take care. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to the full moon in Taurus segment of your reading. So, Sagittarius, the sun is in the 12th house. Quite spooky. The moon is in the 6th. We have the yin and yang card. There is a balancing between what you see before you and what remains to be seen. There are energies that have yet to reveal themselves. There are parts of your routine that are changing. And at the moment, with the Trust the Niggle card, you are feeling that something is up. Or you're having some kind of download, some kind of intuitive moment. And your intuition in Scorpio season, thanks to the Mercury retrograde, thanks to Venus, thanks to Mercury going back into Scorpio, thanks to the new moon in Scorpio coming up, your intuition is growing stronger and stronger. You have a suspicion of something. Maybe it's something good, maybe it's something you're worried about. You have a suspicion, you have a lot of clarity coming up. We have Judgment, meaning that you are coming into a period where things are going to start to reveal themselves and you're going to have to start to work with what's coming to light. I feel that there are energies coming to light around this Taurus full moon that, thanks to Saturn being in Capricorn in your 2nd house, are going to show you just how people around you are valuing you, but also how you could probably make some headway in terms of matters of work. We have the Messenger of Earth, which is the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Nine of Fire, which is defending your position. Now, I think in terms of work and I think in terms of career, you're maybe feeling a bit deflated or a bit upset with how things turned out, but I feel that for you, a lot of you, there is still quite a bit of fighting spirit. But there is a very strong message, Sagittarius, that you need to balance your fighting spirit and your practical with belief. If you want to get results, you have to have that belief in yourself and a belief in your intuition. You could be dealing with a Scorpio person, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, or you could be dealing with a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn very strongly around this full moon. With the Call card and the Queen of Cups, which is Judgment, that's very strong Scorpio energy. That's very much signifying that this season is very much to do with you getting in touch with your intuition and finding ways to cope with the information that comes to light that you maybe didn't see. The 12th house is always hidden secrets and the unseen. So for you, you're really going through that process now, and a lot of you are finding that people you work with have maybe been keeping things under wraps. Or you're maybe also feeling a little bit, Sagittarius, that you have with the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Fire, because this full moon is to do with your health, you may actually find that you've been burning the candle at both ends and neglecting your health, or you may find that you need to slow down in some way, or a health issue comes up that really makes you rethink your mind, body, spirit connection. That is something that's coming up. With the Healer of the Ages card, I think that a lot of you are getting more in touch with your spiritual side, because you just can't avoid it on Halloween. There's actually that old series, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It reminds me of when Sabrina, the main character, the main witch in the show, was trying to live a normal mortal life, and she wanted to work a job, and she kept getting these messages saying you can't run away from Halloween. I feel for you that there's some unavoidable truth that needs to be addressed in order for you to move into the next phase of your life, especially when it comes to making money and it comes to your work and your health and your well-being, Sagittarius. I feel like, yeah, there's a strong sense that you still have quite a lot of fight in you, and to keep going is one of the things that's coming up, because with the Blossoming card, you're just getting started, so have patience with yourself in the process and don't give up. Mercury is, of course, retrograde in Libra as this moon is full. And Mercury retrograde in Libra for you is that 11th house of wishes and friendships. Some of you might be having quite interesting conversations with your friendships. Some of you might be finding interesting information out about your friends or your work colleagues, or some of you might be revisiting a dream of yours that has been quite slow to get off the ground. But the universe is saying that it's not done yet. It's not over. So if you think it's over, it's not. But this is a point of recalibration where you can balance your practical side with your spiritual side. That is the 6th house, 12th house aspect. It's taking the appropriate action, putting the work in, but then also balancing that with the belief and the connection to source, connection to self. And that is how you're going to progress forward. There may also, with the Knight of Pentacles, the Messenger of Earth keeps getting me every time I say it. I'm just like, what is it? With the Knight of Pentacles, there's a very strong sense that you may be receiving some kind of news, or you might be having some kind of conversation at work where tensions come to a head and you have to defend yourself, or you have to put your point across. Is something that's coming up quite clearly here. And if you are dealing with an earth sign, I feel that around this full moon, they might be acting quite sporadically or unusual or out of character. Do be patient with them, I think, because they seem to be having a moment. You, on the other hand, with the Judgment energy and the Queen of Cups, are really having some emotional wake-up calls and some psychic downloads and some psychic intuitive moments. And they're going to be so obvious you can't miss them. And you will know it's your intuition because you won't feel afraid. If you feel anxious about it, it's typically your mind having thoughts that are uncomfortable for you more so than intuition. Do you know what I mean? That's how you know the difference. Intuition is peaceful. Because I do feel like you have that little feeling eating away at you, and you're going to get some clarity on that around the full moon, that is for sure. So it is all there to balance you more with your intuitive side and to reconnect with yourself and your spirit. So as we progress into Scorpio season, that'll get a lot easier, and then there's some beautiful shifts coming for you with the new moon in Scorpio, but that will be the next video. Your November reading is linked in the playlist below, and the extended is connected to it, so I will see you there, Sagittarius. Have a wonderful full moon and a happy Halloween. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to the full moon in Taurus reading for you. This full moon in Taurus is occurring in your 5th house of pleasure, love, romance, and children, and creativity. So it's a pretty nice full moon to be illuminated at this time. And the sun is in Scorpio, your 11th house of wish fulfillment. I feel like for a lot of you there is a wish coming true surrounding family, home, partnership, or children, obviously with the full moon. For a lot of you it could be with a fire sign, Leo in particular, Aries or Sagittarius. But I think for a lot of you there seems to be a happy coming together type energy that is following this full moon in Taurus for you, which is really nice because the 5th house is very loving and very caring. Now Venus is the ruler of this full moon, and it is going to be in harmony with Saturn, your ruler, in your sign actually. So there is actually a really interesting blessing going on here in terms of money and in terms of love, and I feel like it is coming to you in the form of stability. It could be a move, it could be news about your family, particularly the father. But I also feel that for a lot of you, there are some hostilities that you need to be very patient with. So there's a lot of loving energy. It's quite contradictory. I suppose that is what happens when you have a full moon. It's opposite signs. Sometimes it balances and sometimes it doesn't. With Mercury being retrograde in the 10th house for you, I feel like male figures could actually be kind of overbearing at this time, or you could be with the 7 of Swords here and the Strength card, finding out something about somebody you didn't know, particularly someone that you care for, or maybe you're being called to care for somebody, or maybe that you're just finding out news about someone around you, someone close to you. That could also be a love partner too, something you just did not know or did not expect. That is Uranus. There's a need here with the hostilities card and also the Anna Grandmother of Jesus card to be very patient with people if they are coming up quite hostile, because the full moon can make people quite, especially when it's a full moon in Taurus and it's Scorpio season, people can be quite suspicious, or there can be underhanded things going on. Secrets could be coming to light, and I think for a lot of you it could be to do with that Mercury and Libra aspect. It could be secrets about men in power, or even women in power, or authority figures, landlords as well. Trouble with landlords may be indicated here. But I do see that there's a lot of happy, loving energy too coming up for you. Some of you, though, could have been very badly hurt by a fire sign. I will say that. And if you were very hurt by somebody recently, or this is an energy where it's the ending of a love relationship or a situationship of some kind, I think it's you must understand that this is laying foundations, because we have the Four of Wands and the Anna card. It's laying foundations for something more solid. That is the thing about Venus linking with your ruler. Any love relationship or any creative plan or endeavor that is being exited at this time is just not something that is solid and stable to begin with, and you need to be going into a place, Capricorn, as Jupiter exits your sign and goes into your second in the end of the year, and as we lead up to your sign, you need to be in a place of stability, man holding a coin, particularly financially, and you can't have relationships that are getting in the way of your success and your drive, because that is something that is natural to you. If you're in a creative profession, this is a really gorgeous full moon for you in terms of accessing that creative power, those sparks of genius. With the King of Wands, it's a career you're very passionate about that involves quite a lot of extroversion, but also with the contract card, I think it could be something that requires you to go deep as well, that balancing of the scales. I think Mercury retrograde in Libra has probably had some career setbacks for you, or some reevaluation, or it's probably made you rethink things, or rethink even people you worked with. Maybe you find out with that contract in the Seven of Swords, somebody that's doing the same job is being paid more, or something like that. But I feel with the contract card and the man holding a coin and the strength card, if you're patient, justice will be done. It is balancing out. Mercury retrograde in Libra is all about balancing out those energies, okay? And with the Four of Wands, you're in for some really pleasant surprises as far as love and celebration and community and relationships go. This is actually really nice. I like this hand. Now I'm going to do you a Goddess Guidance card. I'm just going to draw it on screen because I didn't do it off screen, and see what we get for Capricorn. Aha. Sacred space. Connecting with the divine. So the word divine has come up twice here. Connect with a power place to connect with the divine. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So there is a bigger energy at play here. We also have the Guardian card. So as I said in the introduction, the veil between the two worlds in Halloween is paper thin. And I think what it kind of looks like here is that you're really connecting into those energies, and you have this kind of, with the Strength card, I feel like you have this kind of divine feminine power to address certain things in your life. You know, the fifth house is very creative, but it's also very fertile, and I feel like a lot of you are connecting to source or praying or anything to draw in what you want to happen to resolve something that maybe is a bit hostile. I feel for you that maybe these hostilities that are coming up for you, Capricorn, are a lot to do with Mars being in the fourth in retrograde. And I think there's some hostilities coming up around family, possibly, and the full moon is maybe bringing them to a head so that you can actually resolve them and move forward. That Four of Wands is all about connection. But what it requires to build that solid foundation is 100% truth. So you need to be very honest with the people in your life that you're dealing with about what it is that you want and what it is that you will and will not accept. Especially if it is a Leo that's trying to, you know, constantly get you to their way of thinking and you're just not agreeing with them. There is a little bit of conflict coming in around the full moon, but there's also a lot of joy. So there is that balance for you. I'm actually thinking that because it's the 11th house, it could be friendships. There could be a little bit of a heated exchange with a friend, or you could just be having, again, heated exchanges with men in power. I think a lot of you are wanting a bit more autonomy, wanting a little bit more strength. But this is, as I say, this is a really beautiful full moon for you in terms of that Four of Fire. That Four of Wands is just so, it's one of my favorite cards in the whole deck because it's all about peace and connection and stability with people in your life. So you seem to be getting both. You seem to be getting the the little bit of friction. But sometimes, you know, with the King of Wands here, friction can lead to heat and chemistry, and also forward thinking. You know, sometimes getting all our grievances out in the open, because getting them all out into the open with a full moon oftentimes means that at least they start to resolve themselves. And certain things I think you've maybe been keeping to yourself for too long in terms of boundaries, Capricorn. So I hope you have a wonderful full moon, a wonderful Halloween, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi Aquarius, welcome to the full moon in Taurus reading for your sign. This is going to be a full moon in your 4th house, which is all about rest, replenishment, home, privacy, and the past. Okay, so this is a very interesting energy for you. And your cards reflected that. I have deep replenishment and I have the 4 of Swords, meaning that around this full moon, it is a beautiful time for you to rest up at home, to make sure that your home looks the way you want it to focus on the aesthetic. Venus is connecting with Saturn at the time. Venus is the ruler of this full moon. So aesthetics and beauty and making things comfortable. And, you know, with Saturn being in the 12th house for you as well, I feel like you're probably going to move towards decor that is a little bit more magical and mystical. You could be making some financial choices. You know, you could be buying some crystals. You could be buying incense, candles, whatever it is, and really, you know, going ham on those Halloween decorations. But I do see you resting up at home, or at least feeling a bit more, you know, cozy, kind of wanting to, because this full moon is aspecting your ruler Uranus, which is that revolutionary energy that you love and you crave. And I think your evolution with this full moon is that you're kind of changing up the way that you deal with your home or your family. And you know, I think a lot of you are maybe seeking to really make some better connections there, because we also have the Sun energy, and the Sun is in Scorpio in your 10th house of long-term goals. And I think that this full moon in the Sun for you is a balancing of your past and your future, and meeting in the middle, you know, meeting as who you are, and where you come from, and bringing your lineage or your ancestry or your history forward with you as a lesson on this new path that you're forging. And I think a lot of you are forging more intimate connections and relationships, particularly with your family. So I'm seeing that this is really a blessed thing to do, to be at home on Halloween night, or to be, you know, around this full moon making some changes to your home. Venus is moving into Libra, and that for you is quite philosophical actually. So, you know, your heart is going to be quite open-minded around this time. So I think a lot of you are wanting to really, you know, connect with people, to relax a little bit as well. I feel that the reason I say that I think a lot of you want to move forward is because of the 6 of air and the 2 of fire, which are both energies about looking to the next chapter. So for a lot of you, one thing I want to say is that with this full moon, it's very much to do with making peace with your past. That 4 of Swords energy, the deep replenishment, and then the Ace of Air and the Wheel of Fortune, you're going to find around this time, particularly as the energies towards the end of the year are starting to move into your sign. Before they do that, there's a little bit of closure going on. And for many of you, it's a past pain. It's a pain from childhood. It's a childhood wound. It's not feeling like you were good enough. With the Emperor here, it's maybe to do with your relationship with your father or male authority figures, or authority in general. It could be something that's coming up as challenging to your foundations. So you maybe don't feel enough as you are. And this full moon is bringing up a little bit of feelings. And you know, the Sun card can be the father too. But I feel with the Rhiannon card, Sorceress, and Woman holding a coin, as well as the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like your luck in terms of self-worth and money and career prospects and just putting yourself out there in the world as someone who's really valued, I feel like there's a karmic shift is what I'm trying to say. Is there's a karmic shift, because Venus in Virgo trines Saturn in Capricorn before it shifts into Libra. And the Venus in Virgo energy for you is all about the 8th house. You know, what we bury deep is found in both the 8th house and the 12th. But when it's in the 8th house, I think that you could really be feeling a little bit of healing with your intimacy issues because of the link between the two. I feel like a lot of you are really healing connections with men in particular, and really being able to set a bit of a karmic reset on your relationship with the father. If that is an issue, or as I say, male authority figures in general. Now, a lot of you could be moving in into a partnership or a new direction with an Aries sun, moon, or rising, or a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising. I think for many of you, there seems to be an offer of happiness coming to you. Now, this could be business. I think some of you are getting hired or are doing some hiring or are running your own stuff in November, and you're really going to be very successful doing it. The Wheel of Fortune to me indicates that things are starting to change in your favor. And they're changing in your favor in the modes of career and of family. So really connecting deeply with family. Some of you are connecting with estranged family members, actually. But at the very least, you are processing deep held feelings about where you come from, who you originate from, what your past is, and even what your purpose is. Because I feel with the Fortune card, my phone's going off. I feel like with the Fortune card, if you're dealing particularly with a Leo, a Scorpio, another Aquarius, or a Taurus, because this is all fixed sign energy in the Wheel of Fortune, but it's also Jupiter. And that will come into play in November. But this fixed sign energy is saying that where you've been stuck, you know, what area of your life you've been stuck in, and maybe you've been very worried or anxious about a family member, I think you get a lot of clarity there. And I think you guys actually get some good news about something that's really been worrying you in general. Is also something that's coming up. But certainly with the Fortune's Wheel, that is so lucky. Especially if you're into spiritual or healing work with the Sorceress card, I think this full moon... And look, we have a black cat. A lucky black cat will be your totem symbol, I think. Maybe some of you are getting a black cat. I'm an Aquarius moon, and I really, really would love a little black cat. So maybe some of you are doing that. But I do feel like a lot of you are channeling into your powers. As I said, the ruler of this full moon is Venus, and it's connecting to your 12th house. So I feel like there's a bit of a cosmic kiss on your soul and healing and resting and your powers of manifestation. And knowing that you are enough as you are is another thing that's very important for you to know. Because, you know, 4th house, 10th house terrain can sometimes feel a bit choppy. Your emotions can feel up in the air. But I actually think that with the 6 of air, you're moving through it very, very gracefully, Aquarius. So I really like this for you. That is all I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful Halloween. Stay spooky, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi Pisces, welcome to the full moon in Taurus reading for your sign. So this full moon of Taurus is occurring in your 3rd house of communication, verbalization, siblings, neighbors, small communities. And the sun is in Scorpio, which is your 9th house of travel, of higher mindsets, expansion, and philosophy. So, your cards were very interesting. I'm thinking a lot about how Venus in your opposite sign of Virgo trines Saturn in your 11th house, right? And then it moves into Libra, your sector of intimacy. So because Venus is the ruler of this full moon, there is a lot to do with your intimate and personal relationships. And I can see that in your cards as something that's represented here. But there is also a big emphasis on how you communicate and what's going on with your head at the moment. For a lot of you, this revolution that is occurring for you, this cosmic shift, this karmic rebirth is actually occurring for you in terms of your powers of manifestation and in terms of your wisdom. I think for a lot of you, especially in terms of the material with Mars being retrograde in Aries, a lot of you have been really feeling very anxious about what to do in general and what to think. With the all tied up card, I have this feeling that a lot of you have been taking life really seriously. You've been feeling very trapped. You've been feeling very worn out, trying to make things work, trying to get into the practical spirit. And with Venus in Virgo as well, I think a lot of you have probably been trying to get things off the ground, maybe in your romantic lives or maybe in your financial situations or whatever it is. Because with the 9 of fire, I feel like a lot of you are very close to giving up. And with the 4 of swords, the energy is very clear that around this full moon, you have to let yourself you have to let your mind rest, is what it's saying here. You have to let your mind rest. With the 9 of wands and the 4 of swords, you've been fighting for a long time. You want to give up, but you actually just need to let your mind rest for a moment, and then you'll be back to business. Because we also have the action card. So I see this real understanding in your spirit, Pisces, of trying to silence the mind in whatever way you can, because I feel like it's been overactive, and the full moon is going to amplify whatever is going on in your head, and you're going to have this moment of, I don't want to think like this anymore. I don't want to be trapped by my own thoughts. I am going to tap into the energy of appreciation. I am going to be helpful with the environment card here. And I'm going to trust my intuition and my inner wisdom when it comes from a place of strength, when it comes from a place of compassion, and when it comes from a place of self-belief, is what I'm saying for you. You're not going to make any actions forward in the mindset that you may already currently be in, or you may be feeling that shift as we speak. Because when the sun goes into Scorpio, the energy kind of shifts in the first couple of days for you anyway. You suddenly start to feel a bit more optimistic, or a bit more playful, and we actually do see that here with the play card. And one of the other reasons that I say this is because we have the 9 of Cups, which is the wish card, and we have the Page of Wands, which is the playful fire sign card. So for a lot of you, you may be dealing with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Or you could also be dealing with an Earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And what I'm seeing with that is that you're going to get some kind of wish in connection with this person, because I feel like it's someone that you really enjoy their company. You really find them very fun. And I think a lot of you have maybe been giving up on the connection, or you feel like the connection struggled. And a lot of it, Pisces, is actually to do with your mindset. So if you've been having a bit of relationship issues, Venus and Virgo connecting to Saturn and Capricorn before it moves into Libra, that blessed energy is going to sort of harmonize and heal your relationships, because that shift from the 7th house to the 7th house to the 8th house, which is deepening of connections, more intimate connections. I feel like a lot of you just need to be in a better mindset for everything to start to flow again, is what I'm seeing here. Because birthing of the new age on this full moon, because it's in the 3rd house for you, this full moon, I feel like it's a brand new reset in the way that you think. And as I said in the new moon in Libra reading, Pisces, the full moon, the way that you think and the way that you believe in things completely dominates your life. You know, when you're in a really good headspace, when you're in this 9 of Cups, appreciative, joyful, I can make magic happen. And we have the cornucopia card here, 11, the I can make magic happen energy. You manifest like that. You can make things happen. People, situations come to you naturally. What you seeks you really quickly, that kind of thing. And I see this full moon as a chance for you to get really back into that energy, and by having fun. Halloween is a beautiful time for a Pisces to be creative, to dress up, to create, to, dress up as Merlin and pretend that you're manifesting things, and they'll probably happen for you. That aspect between, the full moon and Uranus, it's all occurring in your 3rd house. Write that book if that is something that you want to do as well. Write that book, write that novel. With the King of Earth, I feel like a lot of you, your financial situation is shifting. Because before the next new moon, Mars will go direct in Aries, and your financial situation will actually start to improve. And I think it will really start to improve quite dramatically because of the 9 of Cups. But the way that you get there is by having, especially the cornucopia card. Actually, I'm just remembering cornucopia and the King of Pentacles is that Midas touch. But the way that you get there is by not being so serious. I know that the King of Pentacles looks serious. He's very serious about business. But the way that you get there is actually by having fun and appreciating right now what you have and who is actually showing up for you rather than who's not. Or what you can do rather than what you cannot. But it's important that you give your mind a bit of a break and connect to friends, go to a party if you can. I don't know that a lot of people can. I don't think many people can. But Pisces, you can have fun in a room all by yourself. You always could. It's very creative. It's very, I like the 9 of Cups coming up for you because it makes me feel like you're kind of out of the woods of that kind of spiritual funk that you've really been going through lately with Mars. That's made you feel kind of iffy about your worth and your finances and who you are, and wishing maybe you were more like a Virgo or whatever it is. I feel like a lot of you are really coming out of the woods, and whatever it is that you want at the moment that you're trying to manifest, because of your mental sluggishness at the moment and your lack of connection to faith, I feel like it's somewhat been delayed, but it's okay because Mercury is going to go direct in Libra and move into Scorpio. Mercury going direct is going to resolve issues in your intimate life, and then it is also going to give you that optimism, that mental agility to make things happen. And as well as that, Pisces, just to give you a preview of the next new moon, it's going to be in Scorpio, fellow water sign, sister sign, and it's going to be in beautiful alignment with all the Capricorn energy of your 11th house, and Jupiter's there. So this is really where, you know, the Nine of Cups energy is going to start to present itself to you around the middle of November leading up to that new moon. But we will be there to deal with that when the time comes. So have a wonderful Halloween, Pisces. I love you very much. Bye. Hi Aries, welcome to your full moon in Taurus reading. So this full moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus is occurring in your financial sector, your second house, which is to do with worth, it's to do with value, and it is to do with what matters the most to you. You know, what you put your beliefs into, what it is that really, really does matter to your soul. And a lot of the time, the second house is primarily associated with money. So when we have a full moon in that house, we can stop a source of money, we can receive unexpected money, we can change how we make money. It can oftentimes be a time of closure, especially because Scorpio season for you is a lot to do with other people's money. So when we have had Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, there could have been bad news about money in some way, shape or form, and this full moon is kind of a reset on that. So it feels like a reset for you in a sense in terms of your long-term goals, because as I say, the full moon is ruled by Venus, and Venus will be moving into Libra. It starts in Virgo and then it will move into Libra, and that energy connects with your 10th house of long-term goals. And the Virgo energy is your work, your day-to-day work, and then the Libra energy is your partnerships. So I feel for a lot of you, this is a really interesting time to revolutionize the way that you think about money and the way that you think about your work life in general. So the reason I say that is because we have the Page of Earth here, and we also have the Three of Earth, and the Seven of Wands. So I feel like in a work situation, something has not been going the way that you wanted it to, or has been somewhat disappointing, and you feel like your back is up a little bit about it. And I feel like you're not alone in that. With the Three of Pentacles, it can either mean that your co-workers are the problem, or it can mean that they are showing solidarity with whatever's going on for you. Maybe it can be your employees or your co-workers or your your suppliers or something like that. And I feel with the Page of Pentacles, a lot of you are really starting to think about starting over somewhere, because the Page is that beginner energy. So it can be going back to school, it can be starting a brand new job, it can be taking a pay cut to pursue something you really love. Whatever this change is for you financially or in terms of work that seems small, it's actually really blessed, and it can lead you to really great things, because it comes up with the Sun card, which is that light being shone on your abilities, your possibilities, your capabilities, all the things that you possess that make you fit to achieve your goals. And I have a feeling with the Thinking Man and the Awakening card that really, Aries, around this time, you're getting a lot of downloads. Now, Scorpio season for you is very much to do with the 8th house, which is intimacy, and it's to do with your depth, and it's the taboo, and it's the occult. So maybe some of you could be getting more interests in those type of areas, and you're having a bit of an awakening there. Energetic upgrades is actually set on this. So I feel that for a lot of you, with that 8th house energy focusing a little bit on romance, with the unconditional love card and the easy does it card, you may find, because Mercury has been retrograde in Scorpio, you might have been picking at some old wounds, or you may have not been feeling worthy, or you may have not been feeling completely at peace with romance or at peace with your romantic future. And this card is saying easy does it, there's no need to force, everything's occurring in perfect timing. And with the unconditional love card and the Angel of Balance, I feel that in terms of your romantic life, because we're coming out of October, which was very turbulent for it really, and it was a lot of energy at once, you're coming into a place of balance and much happier times, especially with the Sun card, because it's an all-rounder. It doesn't just have to be about work, it's about things starting to brighten up for you. And of course, with your ruler Mars in your sign going direct within this full moon cycle, you're going to be experiencing that feeling of uplift. You're going to be experiencing that feeling of power. And I think with the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction coming up in your 10th house of long-term goals, really supporting you, I think the financial and the career changes you're headed towards, or the ideas you're having, are going to be really successful. That's what I'm seeing from this. I feel like you're having really good ideas. Even in this card with the thinking man, he's holding clear quartz crystals, which means that he's aligned with his higher self and he's receiving messages. So he's receiving, you know, energetic downloads, those new ways of being. This for you is a reset on what you value. And I think for a lot of you, you really want peace. I think you want more peace and balance in your life. You want more harmony, but you also want to feel love and abundance for what it is that you're doing, or where you're investing your energy and where you're placing that value. So it's very interesting, actually, Aries. It's a very interesting read. You could be dealing with an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Leo is here as well. But obviously you can deal with any sign. It's not necessary to have them in here. But with the Seven of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, I really do like where you feel Mercury retrograde. I do feel that where you've got your backup, or feel like you have to defend yourself, sometimes if you feel as though you're constantly fighting to be seen, or fighting to explain yourself in a work situation, or fighting to be acknowledged, I don't think that's your place. And I have a feeling with the energies being the way they are from this full moon going into November, a lot of Aries are going to decide a new path. And I actually suspect some of you have been thinking about it for a while, but it's a much more harmonious path. And I feel like you're going into more of a time where things start to feel a lot easier, and like you can breathe a little bit, because you are having these awakening moments. Okay? That is all I have for you, Aries. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.